Back in the beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku's first transformation was of course the Oozaru or Great Ape form. This form has been very iconic of the series, especially in the anime adaptations as the form of the first series, Dragon Ball. Now this form did lose some of its relevance right in the early stages of Z, especially after Super Saiyan was introduced and became the new staple of transformations for the series. However, did you ever stop to consider that the Oozaru form actually made the Saiyan race weaker? Well, today I tackle that very topic. So let's jump into it. Video intro. Hello everyone, I'm Carthu and welcome back to the dojo. The Oozaru form is not directly something causing the Saiyans to be weak, it definitely indirectly causes this. Now, I do want to establish some basic lore and background. Some of you may know all of it, some of you may only know part of it, especially some of the people who only started or only have watched Z and Super. You may not know some of the background to this form. So I'll create that background, tell it to you, and then we'll jump into my speculation sort of about how this form inhibited the Saiyans as a race. So as we know, the form itself is a 10 times multiplier. This makes a Kid Goku at a power level of 10 a power level of 100. That power level 100 being able to rival master martial artists in the world. Now Goku's use of it is actually fairly limited. It only happens 3 times in the series, one of which isn't even really shown. The first, chronologically anyway, is when Goku killed Grandpa Gohan. Then we have Pilaf's castle, when Bulma, Yamcha, Oolong, Puar, and Goku are captured and there's a full moon. Goku's able to transform and break out. And finally, you have Goku's use of it in the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai. This is when Jackie Chung, an alias that Master Roshi went under, destroyed the moon in order to not hurt Goku while also defending the Earth and basically stopping his overall Oozaru rampage. At this point in the series, Goku wasn't an alien yet. Of course, we'd later find out he was, but often in the manga, the Oozaru form would actually be used to show latent potential within Goku, as in when he drank the Ultra Divine Water, and in some other key instances as well. But this doesn't really show us its impacts on the Saiyan race as a whole, and it's not really history that helps prove the point that it affected the Saiyan race to the point of making them weaker as a species. To show that, we must jump directly into Dragon Ball Z. So of course, Dragon Ball Z, or you could consider it post-time skip Dragon Ball, which is what it is because Dragon Ball is the name of the one and only manga, has a main instance of Oozaru use, and no, I'm not referring to Gohan. Gohan is a point we could tackle, but his use of the form is very similar to Goku's, where it is accidental, and it usually just causes a rampage to ensue. No, we are talking about the controlled Oozaru that was shown to us by none other than Saiyan Prince Vegeta. Vegeta's use of the form was out of sheer desperation and aggravation at Goku's stubbornness, tenacity, and versatility in combat, something that would keep up even when Vegeta transformed. Now, the moon had already been destroyed by Piccolo earlier in this same arc, so Vegeta had to do something special to turn into the Oozaru form. Sacrifice some of his power to create a power ball. This would create an artificial moon, allowing flux waves, the things that reflect off the moon to allow Saiyan transformations like this as long as you have a tail, to be produced at a high enough frequency that Vegeta could absorb them and transform into his Oozaru form. So Vegeta at this point is established to be at a staggering 18,000 power level. Assuming the general fan consensus, and it's not 100% confirmed, but it is assumed that Vegeta using the Power Ball brought him down to around 10,000, This would bring Vegeta in an Oozaru state up to a 100,000 power level, and if he didn't have to use an artificial moon, he would be at 180,000. These numbers seem fairly arbitrary and low if you compare them to full-powered Super Saiyan Goku and full-powered Frieza, or even just half-powered Frieza and full-powered base Goku. These numbers are small, relativistically to those points in the series, but at the time, those 100,000 marks were incredibly high. Let me put it in perspective for you. Jace, Birder, Raccoon, not Goldo, are all stated to be around the same power level, that being about 5 times the power level of Goku on Earth. Goku being over 8,000, this puts them near the 40,000 to 50,000 range. So the elite Ginyu Force that puts any other Frieza soldier to shame is utterly destroyed by a Vegeta in a weakened Oozaru form. But if Vegeta could access his full-powered Oozaru form through a moon, something he wouldn't have been able to do on Namek even if he had a tail, Vegeta's power level would have been a staggering 180,000. This power level puts him above Captain Ginyu himself, making him only second to Frieza. No wonder Vegeta had such confidence going into the fight with Goku if he is second in terms of raw strength in Frieza's army. Third if he has to, put a little bit more effort into his transformation. So what does this mean for the Saiyan race as a whole, as I'm sure most of you are wondering that? Well, it means a lot. If you could rely on a 10 times power boost, and even assuming it gets cut back to 5 times with the power drain from using the Power Ball, threats would probably not arise that much. Raditz as a low-class warrior was around 1,300. 1,300 times 10 is a nice 13,000. Take Nappa, who is a mid-class warrior, and he has a staggering power level of 40,000 around the Ginyus. And again, the Ginyus are the elite of Frieza's army. So imagine a whole world of Saiyans who have tails and know how to utilize them, and do utilize them. They're never threatened. They are never taken down a peg. And why would they be? They were an organized group of planet pirates under an evil emperor. The basic checklist before sending anyone out would be, 1, does this planet have a moon? Yes or no? If it doesn't, is the population more than 5 times the strength of the people we're sending there? And that's it. That's your entire checklist. If there is a moon, are the inhabitants 10 times stronger than the Saiyans we're sending there? That is the simple flowchart you have to follow as a Saiyan dispatcher. Just make sure that if it's a moon, the inhabitants aren't 10 times stronger than the people you're sending there. If there's not a moon, not 5 times stronger than the people you're sending there. But what does that cause for the Saiyans? Well, Saya Power, or Zenkai Boost as we call them, they rely on the fact that Saiyans get injured in battle and healed afterwards. But if Saiyans are utilizing the Oozaru form to get a temporary 10 times boost that is fairly inconsistent because it can sometimes be lessened, well, that 10 times boost is actually not something they can just use. If they can't just use it at will, it's not their power, and it's not going to be as effective in combat or in the long run, as shown by Frieza just destroying Planet Vegeta anyway. The Super Saiyan form, which is a little bit more stable and easy to just activate over time and on your own without stimulus, is a much better way to obtain power. But even more crucial than that is increasing base strength, utilizing Zenkais to their full potential, something the Saiyans clearly knew about because Vegeta knew about it. Vegeta even states and shows that if someone, who isn't you, mortally wounds you and you get resuscitated from that mortal wound, your power is going to greatly increase. The Saiyans literally could have just pretended to even get injured on missions to increase the power threshold of their race. This power threshold seems to actually pass down in generations, at least to the half-breeds that we know of. Of course, we do not know how pureblood Saiyans get power from their parents, but it can be assumed that they would obtain some of it. Now, whether or not this power greatly increases the next generation, or just slightly increases over time, well, that's a different story. but reliance on the Oozaru form did weaken Saiyans at the current point, the past, and of course the future. Vegeta at an 18,000 is probably not likely to have trained much. He's probably just sent off to planets and destroying them. Even in the new Broly movie trailer, it seems like Vegeta is just born naturally strong. He may not even get stronger over time. He might be born at 18,000. We don't actually know. Or if he does get stronger over time, it's minimally. Versus Goku, who gets exponentially stronger over time from his low-class starting point. This is all just speculation, of course, guys. I'd love to know what you think. Do you think that the Saiyan race actually got weaker because of the Oozaru form and their over-reliance on it? Or do you think I'm completely wrong and the Oozaru form didn't hinder the Saiyans at all? Let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe if you want more Dragon Ball videos, hit that notification bell to be notified, and check out the Patreon if you really want to support me. But for now, guys, video outro.